Beth from Past the Plants, and today we are going to make vegetable meat substitute, or veggie ground meat, or veggie grounds, or whatever you want to use instead of ground beef, but it's made of vegetables instead. It is essentially the alternative to a TVP or textured vegetable protein type, ground meat crumble vegan version, but it's made entirely out of vegetables and either nuts or seeds. In this case, I'm going to show you the seed option. So let's get started. I'll show you how easy it is to make it. So the first thing that you're going to need is a food processor, or at the very least a mini chopper food processor, something that's going to be able to get the texture of all of the ingredients into a fine crumble. You don't want to puree anything. You don't want it to become like a paste. So having a proper tool is really important. So the first step is to pulse sun-dried tomatoes and pepitas, or raw shelled pumpkin seeds, into a fine crumble with the S blade of your food processor. So you're going to need that. Every food processor comes with one. So the reason that I use the pumpkin seeds is because they have a ton of protein in them compared to a nut, and they crumble really well. So we'll just add those in. And then we'll add sun-dried tomatoes. I love to look for the vacuum sealed pouches that don't have any oil or water or anything in them. Into the food processor we go. Okay, so then we're just going to pulse this until it forms a fine crumble. And then I'm going to get my little trusty spatula here, just to kind of make sure it's free from the edges. And I'm going to put that in a bowl. And we'll add this in at the end of the cooking process, after we're done cooking all the veggies down. And the reason for that is because we don't want them to get super wet at the beginning. Okay, so now you need the shredding disc on your food processor. So this little attachment goes in here. And the reason for this is it's basically going to make all of the vegetable pieces the same size, so that you have a nice even mix, similar size. So it's a vegetable meat substitute, right? So what are the vegetables besides the tomatoes, which is technically fruit? The main component is cauliflower, and don't let that scare you. It is totally undetectable as cauliflower. It just adds a ton of bulk and fiber and a really nice, I don't even know how to describe it. Like between that and the mushrooms, it's like a meaty texture in the meat substitute. So I always start with that. I don't always start with that, but I like to. So all we really need to do is just get the leaves cut away and cut the big enough pieces so it'll fit in here. So what I do is I just get the boning knife, kind of stick it in, and it's flexible. So as the leaves cut away, you can kind of twist it and turn it, and it's not gonna, you're basically only gonna get away the things that you want out. You're only gonna cut away the things that you want to be gone, and not the actual cauliflower itself. So see, I kind of cut it like, it almost makes like a little point, like a diamond. So you don't have to chop it super fine or anything, because that's what the shredding blade's for. It's gonna do all that work for you. So we'll get that going. So now with the other veggies, so there's a couple tricks to do the carrots. I like to chop them up in small pieces first, because if you do them, just put them in like big chunks, if they land in the food processor the long way, it will end up creating big long strands, and you don't really want that texture-wise in this. You don't want to see automatically that, oh, well, I have a big long piece of carrot in here. And then some onion. This is a yellow onion. You can use white, you can use red. Just don't use sweet. That's the only thing I would probably avoid. Put too much in there. Okay. And then we can fit a few mushrooms on there. Ta-da. These are cremini mushrooms, baby portobellos. You'll often see them marketed as. You can use button mushrooms, but I really love the brown because they just add more flavor. We need 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. Take the towel, press down. Woo. You can kind of feel the cloves all separate. And then take that, toss it away. You've got your cloves. Okay, so now we have, the pan is really hot. You need that because there's a lot of moisture in these vegetables and you need to get that evaporating off as soon as possible so that you're not steaming or letting the vegetables kind of cook in a bunch of water. So I usually just get that out. Don't want to waste it. And then this is what it looks like. Well, either one or two batches. I was able to fit everything in this one, but if you had a really huge cauliflower or big mushrooms or something, you're gonna end up with maybe 2 of these batches, but this is everything kind of shoved in there. The color has completely changed from the cauliflower. There's no bright white pieces of cauliflower. The mushrooms have completely cooked down and released all their liquid. You're not getting any pooling of liquid in the pan anymore. So that's when you know that you're ready to add the crumbled up sun-dried tomato and pepita mixture, or if you used walnuts, that would be here as well. So then we're just gonna add this in. And then you don't have to cook it long. You're basically just incorporating this all together and letting any additional moisture that might still be there just kind of absorb into the sun-dried tomatoes and the pepitas a little bit so that they're not crunchy. So right now I'm going to set aside 2 cups and use it for vegan taco meat, and then I'll set the rest aside for other recipes later in the week. I hope that you will give this a try. It's fantastic. It is an easy thing to make for all the types of eaters in your life, because a lot of the time once you get that seasoning or sauce in there, they won't even know that it's not meat. It's a great way to fool people into understanding that there's more to a vegan diet than just tofu. And this is a great recipe to have in your arsenal, and I hope you'll be able to try. Leave me a comment in the description after the description box and let me know if you tried it or if you have any questions. I'd love to answer them for you. Don't forget to watch more of our videos and like and subscribe to the channel and tell your friends all about it. Have a great day, guys.